Motorsports as a whole are very risky. Whether on track or off it, you can lose in more than one way. You risk your life every time you sit in your seat, or even worse, you risk a crippling injury. Furthermore, it is very unlikely that you will actually make a career of racing. Only the top 1% of all racers make it to the upper echelons, which is one of the ways to get paid for racing, one of the only ways as a matter of fact. This means you could put crores of rupees into racing only to turn a massive loss on your investment. Let's discuss the risks in a bit more detail. The first major risk is the sheer speed at which these vehicles travel. If you look at an MRF 2000 car, it can reach speeds of up to 260 km an hour. This means even the slightest error, such as turning too hard or braking a bit hard, could result in a deadly spin. The second major risk is a collision or a crash. On May 1st, 1994, a legendary F1 driver by the name Ayrton Senna died during the Imola Grand Prix when he collided with a tire wall and died almost immediately after. This was a horrifying death. It was so sudden, so unseen, but that is the reality of racing, quite literally driving an inch away from death. The third major risk is a mechanical failure in the car. While I was racing for the Peregrine Rotax team, I had a teammate whose name will remain anonymous. A few years ago, said teammate's brakes failed right after the main straight, and he went straight into a wall, breaking both of his legs in the process. Since then, he has made a full recovery and has gone back to racing, but that truly shines a light on how easily a simple failure could have catastrophic results for not only you, but all other drivers on track as well. Moving on to the fourth and final risk, this is one that I have a very personal experience with, and this is human error. While we race, we must make quick decisions very fast. Should I let him overtake and then switch back? Should I stick the outside, etc.? Well, let me take you back to early July of 2023. It was a hot day in Bangalore, and I was practicing with my team at the time, Peregrine Racing. There was a group of much faster drivers rapidly approaching me on the main straight, and they were in a mock race. So I decided to pull to one side and slow down a bit to let them pass. But a few seconds passed, and they still hadn't passed me. At the same time, the corner was rapidly approaching, so I looked back and realized that they were also rapidly approaching me. So I instinctually swerved. Unfortunately, I had swerved into the tire wall at over 100 km per hour, completely destroying the front of my cart. Luckily, I got away without a scratch, and so did the other drivers behind me. So one truly must have a very resilient and tough mind. In hindsight, I should have continued my lap, as it is their job to overtake me in a practice session. All that being said, it clearly isn't impossible for an Indian racing driver to race in F1. We have seen an Indian racer by the name of Narayan Karthikeyan who raced in F1 alongside the greats such as Sebastian Vettel. We also have an up-and-coming Indian racing driver by the name of Kush Maini, who is currently 11th out of 23 drivers in the 2023 F2 Championship.